Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a book haul for you. I have stacks of books here. I have 6 stacks to share with you. It's way too much, and I acknowledge I have a problem, but I did go to a signing. I just got back from Book Bonanza 2 days ago, and so I did come home with like 15 books, and I've gone shopping a couple times. Target had a sale. I've gotten some book boxes. I've gotten some gifts from authors, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because this is gonna take so long. So the first two I have were for the book signing I went to at Book Bonanza. I got these two by Samantha Young from Target when they were having their buy two get one free sale. We have There With You and Only You. I think There With You is the nanny romance. He is a single dad, and then this one is the ex-best friend romance. So I was told by a friend this is the one I would love, even though it's book 5. So I have both of these. I got to meet Samantha Young, and I'm very excited to read these. So hopefully I can read them soon. By the author, I was sent Our Scorching Summer by Kels and Denise Stone. This one is a friends to lovers romance. They're both kind of like playboy kind of people, and they don't want to like commit to a relationship, but they're catching feelings for each other, and I think that they go on a trip together. So this sounds perfect for summer. I'm really excited. They sent some goodies along the way too, so I love the colors of the cover. It does scream summer, so I'm excited for that. I also got to see the fabulous QB Tyler in Book Bonanza, at Book Bonanza, and she gifted me the 2 copies of this. The other one's down there. Okay, so I love this one. It's her bodyguard romance. It's forbidden. The heroine has needed a bodyguard since she was like 18, and then he wanted to stop working for her because he was kind of catching feelings and she had expressed interest in him. He is 12 years older than her, and then 5 years passed, and he decided he's not going to quit when her parents died, so he's been working here for 5 years now, and she is single. She had a boyfriend for like 3 years. He cheated on her. She has to pretend to still be in a relationship with him, and she's really falling for her bodyguard. So I love this book so much. This is the alternate cover. I love it, and I love the ab cover for her ebook, and I've been begging her to do a paperback of that because it's stunning. The next book I picked up was because of my friend Sarah. She ended up picking this up for me at Book Bonanza. Tilly Cole had some special editions, and you could only buy them at her table, and only one per person. So even though she had, I think, 3 or 4 different special editions, you can only get one. Not of each, just one total. And so my friend Sarah was able to see her and pick this one up for me because I really, really wanted it, and it was the hardback of It Ain't Me, Babe. I did not get to meet Tilly Cole at the signing. I was too busy, and she had a crazy line because I was working the signing. So thank you, Sarah, for getting me her special edition. I love it. I cannot wait to put it on my shelves. So these are going to be my Book Bonanza special editions, or stuff I picked up from Book Bonanza is really the rest of this stack. So the next one is the King's Spinster Bride by Ruby Dixon. She had 2 special editions, and so I picked up this one. They were $25, or I think they were $30 or 2 for $50. I don't remember, but she does have a step back in them. She did end up signing it on the back of the step back page for me, personalized, and it did bleed through onto the step back, which is kind of sad, but this is still a really stunning edition, and I'm excited to add it to my collection. This is the one that I really enjoyed, so that's why I picked that one up. Then I got to see Trelina Pucci, and she gifted this to me since I'm on her ARC team. It is Not So Lucky. Very excited for this one. It is a Married in Vegas football player group activities romance. It's gonna be so much fun, and her audio is coming soon with an amazing cast, so I'm very excited for that. I also picked up the special edition of Wildcat by Rebecca Genchak. It was foiled, and I'm obsessed with like the bright colors. This one is a coach's daughter romance, hockey romance that I really enjoyed, so I'm very excited to have that special edition in my collection. I also ended up getting 4 gifted to me by Laura Pavlov. Laura was the author that I got to assist at the signing, and if you guys have been following me, you know I'm obsessed with her books lately. So we have the hardbacks of Into the Tide and Under the Stars. I love this series so much. I think that Into the Tide is my favorite, but I did really enjoy Under the Stars. So these are small town romances that I love. So I got to take these home with me, which I was very excited for. And then she did let me take Under the Stars for a giveaway, so check out my Instagram. I already have this book in both covers as part of her PR package that she sent me, but I also picked up the alt cover of Make You Mine because this one is my favorite. This one is a nanny firefighter single dad romance that I absolutely loved, so I wanted this copy. I'd only read 1 book the last time I saw her in that series, and I just binged the last 4 on audio, and Make You Mine is my favorite, so I'm very happy to have that one. I also ended up buying the Fit Teacher Rachel Bittersweet Duet edition with QB Tyler. This one she had in her box, but she did have extras at the signing. Stunning. I'm so excited that I got to pick this up. I have to own every QB Tyler special edition. Like, I just have to. So I'm very excited that I got to have that and add it to my collection. And then I also have the other cover of Keep Her Safe that QB Tyler gifted me. She also gifted me a t-shirt that I wore in my TBR video, if you watched that already. It has all of her heroes' names on it. So excited to have all these amazing QB Tyler books in my collection. I also got to see Katerina Mora, so I had pre-ordered her special edition of The Wrong Bride. They're just foiled, that's why they were special edition, and she had, I think, the first 3 in the series like this, but I just wanted my favorite one in the series. So I picked this one up. It's a very angsty marriage of convenience, sister's boyfriend romance. It's so good. And then I did end up getting to get Bittersweet Memories in her hardback special edition, which I had to have, and she put aside for me because I had gone by and she didn't have her like payment stuff set up before the signing, so she put it aside for me so I could buy it, which I'm so thankful to her for because this one is my favorite one she's written. It's the Amnesia romance. So I have this, it's gorgeous, and she was only letting one person buy it per like person, so none of my friends could pick it up because they all wanted it too. I'm excited to have it. She was amazing and super adorable, so I'm glad to have those in my collection. And then I think this is the last special edition that I got from the signing, and that is the Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. This one is her billionaire romance. It was a lot of fun, and I had to get the special edition that she had because I love Kat Singleton. She is such an amazing person, and I'm very happy to have her special edition. And then the last 2 from the actual signing were in the goodie bag. So when you register, if you're an author attendee or an assistant, you all get the goodie bag there, and it had the Unwanted Marriage, which I believe this was supposed to be like special and foiled, but she had a lot of shipping issues and they shipped everything back to her. She lives in Hong Kong, so she was able to get copies of the Unwanted Marriage in the bags, but not the one that originally she had set out to do. But very excited to have this. I already own a copy though, so I'll be giving this away because she just sent me a PR box when it came out. I haven't read it yet, but I have to in July because that was what my patrons picked for me to read for their exclusive reading vlog. I also got The Pawn by Skye Warren in my bag. So I don't think I've read a Skye Warren book, but there was that. And then I did go to the Half Price Books event that was in Texas on Wednesday night. So there were 6 Bloom authors there. There was like Laura Thalassa, Lauren Asher, Sarah Kate, Kennedy Ryan, and Sierra Simone, and I think a couple other people. But I ended up buying Eyes on Me. You had to pick a book to buy when you went to the signing, and I already had Kennedy Ryan's, I already had Laura Thalassa's, and I already had Lauren Asher's. So this was the other one I was interested in that I didn't own. I do have Praise, so I figured I'd just add to my collection. So I did get to see Sarah there, and I mostly went there though to see Kennedy Ryan because she is one of my absolute favorite people on this planet, and she was there, and she wasn't able to go to Book Bonanza because she had other like things she had to go to. So we were all able to see her, and it was a couple people's first time meeting her, like Zay and Tiffany and Caitlin, and they all freaked out, and it was so special to be able to watch. And I was able to see her again. I've met her a couple times already, and she is lovely, and I get to interview her every year on Lacey's channel, so we know each other well, and I was excited to see her again. So that was that stack. I'm pretty sure I did a book haul like right before or right after Chicago, so I have a couple special editions from that, but I do have some that I was sent by the author. So a lot of these were sent to me in this stack. So the first one is Marrying Off Morgan McBride. I just talked about this in my July TBR. My friend Kelly from Kelly Reynolds Reads loves the first one of this series, so when I saw Berkeley had it on their forum for influencers to get who get their boxes, I was like, sure, I want this one. So this one is a historical romance, and it's all about men having to get married off. So his sister actually wants him to get married so he doesn't leave. So this one sounds really good. I'm excited to have that. Then I want to give away from Ava Hunter. This one she's giving away in her stories, and she said first person to reply gets it. And a couple minutes later I was like, has anybody snagged it, because I would love to have that. This is a surprise pregnancy romance, and I feel like I'll like it because I know going in that's what it is, and it's like a grumpy hero. It sounds super cute, so I'm really excited to read this one. I have to read it. I meant to read it in June when it came out, but time got away from me. I also have a copy of Erica Ridley's new book, which I'm super excited for. This is a sister who is the art forger. She's really good at forging art. All these siblings are adopted, and they're like really good at different criminal things. Like one does disguises, one does voices, and this one does forgery. So very excited for this one, and I think that she gets like tied up with the guy who is in a forgery scheme. So this is on my July TBR too. top of my TBR. I'm really excited for another historical romance from her. And then I did get 2 copies of Lainey Thatcher's new book. So she sent me both covers of the 7-Year Slip, and this one sounds so good. So I'm obsessed with this cover and the back cover. This was also in my July TBR. This one, our hero and heroine were like playmates growing up and they really liked each other. I would think though that they had different social classes, so she ends up writing letters to him about like her deepest, darkest secrets and never gets answers. But 7 years later, he is back and they have to be forced back into each other's lives and fall in love again. So very, well, not again, but like fall in love and like reunite. I feel like this is not too long. It's 276 pages. I'm really excited. I want to try new authors. She seems super sweet. So this one I think also comes out very soon. So check this out, and I'm excited to read it. My lovely friend Brittany sent me 3 books as a congratulations for quitting my job, and she sent me these 3. If you don't know, I did quit my job. I have an announcement video. It's on my channel, and I'm very excited for my future, and I've had amazing support from all my friends. So she sent me 3 books as a just congratulations. So she gave me Gravity and You and Me by Tal Bauer. One is a hockey romance. I think this one is the football romance, and they sound so good, and I'm obsessed with Tal Bauer now after reading the rest of the story. So these are high on my TBR. I need to read them. And then she also sent me The Choice by Ashley Jade, which is one of my favorite angsty, super angsty romances that I've read this year. This is a story where he is in love with his best friend's girlfriend. So lots of trauma in their lives, and there's cheating. It was so good. I loved it. I'm very happy to own that one. And then I do have my copy of The Unwanted Bride from Katerina Mora. This was sent to me in a PR box. This one, like I said, is a marriage to convenience romance. He's never wanted anything to do with the woman he's supposed to marry since he was a kid, but now he sees her with another man and he's like, you know what, she's mine. So this sounds really good. I'm very excited to read a new one from her. I have to read that soon. I also have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Pawson. This comes out the day I'm filming this. I think it's the 27th today, and this sounds so good. So I really love The Dead Romantics, and this was on my July TBR too, and I was reading the synopsis, and this one's about a woman who moves in, I think it was to her aunt's house, who passed away, and she is just trying to be like very serious and not take risks. And in the house though, there's this guy, and he actually lives 7 years in the past, and they're like both living in this house, so it's like a slip in time kind of thing. And it reminds me of the movie with Sandra Bullock. I'm pretty sure it was Sandra Bullock, where it was that mailbox that they were like writing to each other in and like falling in love, and they were like in different timelines. That's what this reminds me of, and I'm so excited to read it. Like, I was reading the synopsis and I was like, okay, this is gonna be read like tomorrow. So hopefully I can read it soon. I have not been excited for a traditionally published book in a while like that, so I want to read it. And then I have 2 I actually bought at, I think I bought them, one I bought on Amazon, one I bought at Barnes & Noble, but I read these over vacation and I loved them. This one is a bodyguard romance where he is guarding the like famous person in her small town who is getting married to her brother, and it's the bodyguard, and she really wants to settle down and go on dates, but she's very awkward, so he is going to help train her in how to date. It was so cute. I gave it 4.5 stars. And then this one I gave 5 stars and I cried and it was amazing. It's MM. It is a let's hike the Pacific Coast Trail together, and they just met on the trail and hiked together, and it is such a soul-searching kind of book where they are at just these points in their lives where they just really need that time to reflect on their lives, and I was obsessed with it. It's so good. Please read it if you haven't yet, but I really enjoyed these 2. Look at me reading traditionally published romances. And then I also have a book I was sent, well, 2 books. Okay, these 2 I was sent by the author. So we have Love Me Today by Elle Jackson. In the stunning hardback, we have the other cover underneath, and then we have an art print in it as well. And it's signed to me, and it is such a good book. I read it on audio as an audio arc, and I loved it. It is a single dad romance, and it's kind of nanny. It started out where she was the horseback riding instructor for his daughter, and then it turns into a nanny romance. And there's actually a little bit of suspense at the end, which I was all for. I really love that. And it was just a really good hate to love romance because they met when they crashed their cars into each other in a parking lot. So really enjoy this one. Highly recommend checking that out. And then another favorite recently is Forbidden Hearts by Corinne Michaels. I was also sent this by the author. I also bought a copy while I was on vacation. I went to a Barnes & Noble at Myrtle Beach that had every single indie published romance you could want. Like, they had Catherine Cowles, they had Laura Pavlov, they had Corinne Michaels, they had Kat Singleton, they had everybody. And I was like, obsessed, and I was like, I had to buy something, so I bought this because I thought that I wasn't getting it, and then lo and behold, she had sent it to me in a PR package. So this one has an art print as well, and I love it. Oh, it has a couple art prints in it. This one's a single dad romance that I was obsessed with, and she is the nanny as well, and they had met when she was younger though, when she babysat his daughter when she was really, really young. It's like a 10-year age gap. I don't remember the actual age gap, but there is an age gap in here, and she didn't do well babysitting the daughter the first time. Now years have passed, she's in her 20s, and he's like, no, and she's like, I'm not the same teenager anymore, and his daughter's deaf, and the heroine knows ASL. She's like the perfect fit for him, and they fall in love, and it's so good. I love this one so much. Highly recommend checking out Corinne Michaels in that book. And I also have a couple books sent to me as well. I think most of these rest of these in the stack were sent to me. So this one was a gift, and this one is from Zay from What He Reads. She sent this to me as a congrats for quitting my job. So I love that my friends are so supportive, but it is The Rest of the Story by Tell Bauer. This one is the one I read this year. That's one of my favorites of the year. It is so good. It's a hockey romance, MM and their teammates, and very emotional, and that's all I want to say. But I love that book so much, so I'm very excited to have it. And then I did get The Troublemaker by Jessica Peterson. He's her older brother's best friend and a decade older than her, out of her league, and she asks him to take her virginity. So this sounds like a fun book, a fun premise, and I'm glad that I was sent that copy. And then I was also sent a copy of Queen Charlotte by Julia Quinn with Shonda Rhimes. Julia Quinn got the script of Queen Charlotte and then wrote it into a book form, so I'm very excited for this. This one was sent to me by Avon, and I love all things Bridgerton, and I finally watched the show and cried. It was not cool, but it was devastating. But I also has like a reversible dust jacket which has this on the cover as well, which I think is pretty cool. So very excited to read this one. Thank you to Avon for sending it my way. Okay, and then I have so much more to go through. I'm gonna try to speed it up. In Chicago, I bought When It Ends by Penelope Black. This one is a Why Choose post-apocalyptic romance, which sounds really cool, and it's her signing special, so it's like got texture on it, and I'm excited to try this out. So hopefully I can read that soon. And then let's go to this stack. Oh my gosh. Then I got the Hello Lovely Trope of the Month box. This one was a mafia romance. It was Dangerous King by Sienna Snow. It's really pretty, and it did have a sticker, which I guess I put somewhere else. So this one is about a girl who knows his darkest depths and doesn't blink an eye, and she's his dream, and she's gone. And 15 years later, she's back in his life. So I think it's a second chance romance, and he now has like his mafia empire. That sounds good. I really, really love that cover though. So I'm excited to read that one. I also got Weak Side by Jay Silvis. She sent me a package with this one. I need to read it. It's a new adult hockey romance. They accidentally get roomed together and then they fake date. So I think I'm gonna love this one. I've been meaning to read it for way too long. Then in Chicago, I did get a couple books. So I bought these two. Well, I bought this one on Amazon first. It's Blanket of Stars. This is in KK Allen's series. I have the other one down there. I really want to read this one because I love KK Allen. I loved book 2 in the series. They're small town romances about brothers, so this one is book 4 that I really need to read, so I can't wait. And I also have 2 by Willow Astor. I bought one previously to the signing, and then I bought one at the signing. So we have Autumn Nights and Unforgettable. I think they're both small town. This one is a one-night stand, and this one's a football player. So it says there's a fine line between love and hate on this one. It's part of the Landmark Mountain series. This is book 1, and I think this is on a different series. I think there's a different series, but I'm excited for some Willow Astor. I definitely have to read her. I also picked up the novella from Sierra Simone. This one was free. Victoria got in line. I got into the signing. They had like different tiers, so I was like the 2nd or 3rd tier out of 4, I think, and I did not get a wristband for Sierra Simone early enough, and I know I won't be able to see her, so Victoria picked this up for me, and I'm very excited to read this. This is the prequel to her Tristan and Isolde retelling romance that I'm very excited for because I loved that movie. Then I was sent The Marriage Solution by Stephanie Rose. This one, it was sent to me as a sponsored video, but I'm very excited to read it because they have to get married for his health insurance. So they were really good friends. Then she has an unexpected diagnosis, and they're in Vegas for someone else's wedding and decide to get married. So they're friends to lovers, marriage of convenience. Sounds really good. I also have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I was sent by the publisher. This one I need to read. I don't know what it's about. I don't want to know what it's about before I read it. I do love it, but I did get the yellow underneath, which I kind of like that, but I know other people have pink underneath, so this one, hopefully, I read soon. I guess I haven't done a haul in a while because I also have Fourth Wing, which I got in Denver in March. Maybe I just missed a stack because I've already read this and I loved it. And I got this for free from Rebecca Yarros. She was giving away tons of copies at her signing. She signed it for me and I'm obsessed with this. One of my favorite books of the year. I'm excited to have that in my collection. I was also sent Wolf Takes the Lead by Terry Spear. I'm assuming is a paranormal romance based off of that cover. Then I got as a gift from Cyrstal, just saying that she knows I was going through a lot. This one is one I got during when I was still teaching and I was very, very, very stressed and people knew I was stressed. So she got me Forever Never by Lucy Score. Thank you so much, Cyrstal, for saying this to me. This one is a brother's high school sweetheart and boss's daughter and ex-wife's best friend. Sounds a little messy, but I'm very excited to read some more from Lucy Score. And then I do have a couple books I got in book boxes. So the first one I got with the Catherine Cowles box, which I guess I already moved that book, the Catherine Cowles book, away. But I also ended up getting this really pretty edition of Blame It on the Champagne by Fiona Cole, which I love the cover. This box came with one also by Cora Riley, which I gifted to a friend, so I don't have that anymore. And I also got the Belle book box where it came with these two, which I'm very, very excited for. They have Black Swan Affair by K.L. Krieg, which is the love triangle one that I've been meaning to read forever, and this one's gorgeous. And then we have Devious Lies by Parker S. Huntington, which is also stunning. I think this was Belle. Super pretty books. I'm obsessed with everything. Look at that. Look at that. These are so pretty. And then the formatting inside is always pretty, so I'm excited to have these as part of my collection. I also got these three in Chicago. So I saw Cassandra Robbins and her PA is Annette, who is also Gianna Darling's PA, and I am obsessed with Annette. I love her so much. I've known her for a couple years now, and she gifted me Power by Cassandra Robbins. This one I loved, and Annette knows I read it and loved it, so she's like, here, you need to give it to her. So it is a signed copy, and I'm very excited to have it. This one is a mother's fiance romance, and it was a fun time. I also ended up buying River of Rain because this is just such a stunning cover and I really want to read this duet, and the formatting is really pretty too, so everything about this is super pretty, so I bought it. I buy pretty things. Then I also got Heart of Stone by K.K. Allen, which is book 3 in the series that I need to read by her, the Small Town Camp Bexley series. So that one, these stacks are gonna be insane. I really want to read. So we are getting there. Oh, as I almost throw this entire stack down. I also was sent Scoring the Player by Rebecca Genchak. This one I'm very excited to read. It is a new adult sports romance, which I think he's a football player and she is definitely like a wallflower, and I think he overhears her saying how much she like wants him and she's super embarrassed, and then he agrees to be her fake boyfriend. So that sounds fun. I'm excited to read that. I was also sent these two by Tessa Hale, which is Anchor of Secrets. I love this book. It's book 2 to the Supernaturals of Castle Academy. They're why choose paranormal new adult romances, but they take place in high school and they're a lot of fun. This was book 2. All the books end on cliffhangers. I got to read an audio arc of it and really liked it. I liked it even better than book 1. I gave it 5 stars, and I'm excited for book 3 because it left us on a cliffhanger. And then I was sent Too Late by Colleen Hoover. This is the new release, and I read this back when it was indie published. I guess she wrote it on Wattpad first and then released it independently. I read it and loved it. This is a darker romance for her, and she is in a really horrible relationship, but she has to be in it, and she falls for a guy that's not her boyfriend. That's all I'll say about that one. I also ended up buying the Fourth Wing special edition from Probably Smut Club box. I got it before it sold out, and it's very pretty. I do think there's a typo. Like, it says a dragon without its rider is a tragedy, a rider without its dragon is dead. It's supposed to say a rider without their dragon is dead, but I'm happy I have this special edition in my collection. It's probably the only one I'm gonna be able to have in my collection. I also from Target got Identity by Nora Roberts. It's her new one, and I was chatting with Catherine Cowles because she always listens to her new releases for romantic suspense, and she said she was really enjoying this one. So I was like, fine, it's on sale. It was super cheap at Target, and I got buy 2 get 1 free with it. So I'm excited. And she always has such pretty formatting, and I am in my Nora Roberts era, and I read like a book a month by her, and I'm enjoying them. Then I was actually, I don't know if it was an accident, I was sent 2 copies of Love Life Farms, so I have 2 finished copies. I am possibly going to Steamy Lit next month, and she's gonna be there, so maybe I'll bring one and get it signed and then give it away, or just give it away in general, but I love this book so much. I love B.K. Boris, and I love this series. This is a friends to lovers, fake dating, Christmas tree farm romance, and it's so good, so I'm excited to have those. And then I did get a couple of historicals. I think I got these from Half Price Books. I've got Flame of Fidelity, which I only got for the cover. And then I got To Love a Stranger by Connie Mason because it has that on the back, and I'm very excited to read some Connie Mason. I also ended up buying The Fiancé Farce by Alexandra Bellafleur. I actually got to be on a podcast with her about audiobooks and marketing audiobooks, which was so fun. She's super sweet, so I really want to read her new release. I think this is a marriage of convenience sapphic romance, and I want to read it because I really liked Written in the Stars. And then I was sent Play for Me by Libby Hubsher. This one is about a woman who takes a new job at a New England boarding school, and her roommates are all men, including a very handsome one who plays by his own rules. So she's the athletic trainer of her favorite baseball team, and she loses it. And she's forced to apply to the only open trainer position at a boarding school. And she is roommates with the attractive orchestra teacher and his 2 roommates. So that actually sounds really fun. I'm excited to read that one. And then I was sent the finished copy of Hot House Flower from Berkeley as they publish them. I need to finish this series. I have not yet read, I think, this book, but it's so floppy, and I'm excited to collect those. I was also gifted this by a coworker. So she sent me an American Beauty. We were talking about the Gilded Age, actually, and she has read this. It is a Gilded Age book. I think it's historical fiction, but she was like, I think you would like this, because she knows I love historical romances. So I borrowed that from her from the job I quit, but she knew, like, she's like, I don't expect it to be back. I was like, maybe we'll meet up for lunch or something, I'll give it back to you. And then I have The Baby Blitz by Lex Martin. She did send me 2 copies, one to give away. I'm currently reading book 2 in this series, and I really like it. They're all single parent new adult romances where the guys somehow end up having babies with people, but like not people they're in a relationship with. It's hard to explain. It's not as bad as it sounds, but this one says that she hasn't always hated her brother's best friend, but now he gets under her skin and he knows how to push her buttons, and his sister's wedding brings them back together, and he suggests a truce for one night, and I think they have a one-night stand, and I think she gets pregnant. The first one was like a one-night stand, and then like they didn't know whose baby it was because it was just like dropped off on their door, and they had to get paternity tests to see who it was. And then the second one was someone, like an ex, had gotten pregnant and didn't tell him and claimed it was a different person's, and now she's back in his life and it's like, actually it's yours. So this one, it's between the actual couple. That sounds really good. Even though I don't love Surprise Baby, I feel like I could like this one because I really love this series so far. So thank you to Lex Martin for sending that to me. Now we're down to 2 small stacks. So we have Viking Ecstasy. I have to buy a Viking romance when I see it. I mean, just look at that. And then I was sent Curled Up with an Earl by Amy Rose Bennett, or I bought this. I think I might have bought this actually. I really like this series, so I wanted to buy this one and add it to my collection. I was also sent Your Last First Kiss by Avery Maxwell. This one is about a guy who really likes her and is determined to be her last first kiss. She had a horrible marriage, and she's left with 3 boys, and this guy is like, but I want you. So this sounds really cute. I'm excited to read that one. I was also sent a few of these, which I'll just go through from the publisher. We have Don't Back Down by Sharon Sala. Ooh, it's a thriller. Is it a romantic suspense? Is there romance in here? So we have an army veteran, and his niece is kidnapped, and then Cameron runs into Rusty Caldwell. 6 years ago they had a one-night stand, and now he's shocked to find out that Rusty belongs to one of the rich families in Jubilee. It is a romantic suspense. Maybe I'll read that soon. I've been so into romantic suspense lately. Then I was also sent The Duchess Takes a Husband by Harper St. George, which is in the series that I love. I don't know if this is the last one. It's book 4. I've loved every single book in this series. I really love Harper St. George's historical romances. So it says it's a scandalous arrangement between a London rogue and an American duchess. That's gonna be really good. I was also sent Summer Reading by Jen McKinley. Another super floppy paperback. I love that. So this one just looked very summery, and I really want to have some summer reads. So it says that during summer she's going to Martha's Vineyard at her family's tiny cottage, and she was tasked with chaperoning her half-brother, who's a teenager, and he is spending his summer at the local library, and she does not want to be there. And the library's interim director turns out to be the hot reader guy whose book she accidentally destroyed on the ferry ride to the island. Why does this sound so cute? I'm gonna read this. I also got Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, but I have seen literally 0 good reviews for this book. So let me know if I should read it, but pretty much everybody hated it. I don't know if I'll pick it up. but I have it. And then I did get sent Kiss the Sky, which is another book in the Addicted series from Berkeley, which I'm excited to be collecting these as I drop it. I also have That Summer Feeling, which I really, really want to read. It's a sapphic romance, and it says, well, a divorced woman attends a sleepaway camp for adults and reconnects with a man from her past, only to fall head over heels for his sister instead. Sounds perfect for summer. I've been really loving sapphic romances lately. I am almost done with Cleat Q, and I'm enjoying that. It's a sapphic soccer romance, so I'm very excited to read this one and add it to my TBR. And then I was sent these by Lulu Moore, who is super, super sweet. I'm very excited for these. She sent me these four. We have The Third Baseman, which I loved. It's a second chance baseball romance. And then she sent me The Show, The Suit, and The Secret. So, very excited to have these from her to add to my collection. I'm almost done. So then I have The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan, one of my favorite books of all time. I saw it at Half Price Books and was like, I need to buy that. So I have that to add to my collection. Also, I got Once More with Funny Feeling. I got this because it was super cute and it sounded really good. It says a former pop star finds herself back in the spotlight along with an old flame, and it's a friends to lovers meets enemies to lovers story. I did see some people really hate it, but I'm gonna go into it with high hopes. I'm excited. I also picked up The Nanny from Barnes & Noble because it sounds so good. It's an age gap nanny romance, which I feel like I only read in indie romances, and this one's a traditionally published romance, but it sounds so good. So I really want to read this one. And I think that cover's actually cute. Like, I like it. So, very excited to read that one. And then I found this at Half Price Books for on clearance, and I did not know this author had another book in the series. I love this series in college. So, they're new adult romances, and this one doesn't say anything about the synopsis. She's a singer-songwriter, and he just returned from a tour in the military, and he feels lost and unsure, and he works security for her. So, very excited to read this one. I just love those books so much, so I was excited to see it on sale. I also got Shadow and Ice by Gina Showalter on clearance as well. I had started this book and really liked it. It's paranormal, but I never finished. So, they were like warriors, like frozen in time, and then they like got unfrozen. So, it sounds really cool. I also got Redeeming Six because I think that the author's changing the covers. I think they got picked up by a publisher. So, this is so big. Like, I think this is the biggest in the series, but I know people love this and I wanted to finish the series. So I got book 4. So now I have all of them. I also ended up getting Drop Dead Stitch from Half Price Books on clearance. This one looked super cute. It is a murder mystery at a knitting retreat, and it has recipes in the back. So I might read it and do a vlog for my Patreon doing a recipe and reading this book and maybe knitting some while I read it, because I do love knitting. And then the last two are from Mystic Book Box. These are stunning. These are what the Bella Aurora ones, and we have Raw and Raw Rebirth. These are so pretty. I love their designs. They're stunning. So happy to have these in my collection. I am a rep for them, so I got these sent to me for free. And for both Mystic and Belle Book Box, you can use my code PeaceLoveBooks for 10% off. And that is my book haul. That was way longer than I thought it would be, but I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're excited for me to have and to read and what you're excited for. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.